Hello, you beautiful spark, and thank you for joining me on a solo episode of Spark TV. I'm really excited to kick these off. So, in the history of Spark TV, our beautiful podcast, I have done one solo episode. So we have over 120 odd podcast episodes live now, and they've really just been championing other women in businesses stories. So the idea behind Spark TV was to share the stories of fantastic women in business, no matter where they're at in their business, some who are in the build phase, some in the scale phase, all different industries, all different business types, business models, with the idea that you listening in might find inspiration for your own business or some tips and wisdom that'll help you shortcut your success. And over the last year, I've had a few people ask me to share my story, and a few people that know my story already ask me why I don't show up here and share my story. So that's it. 2024 is the year I am showing up on Spark TV with some solo episodes to share what I've learned in my 3 businesses over the last, gosh, I think we might be up to 12 years now. I do not know. I'm covering the grays and wrinkles, so that will stop time. But today I wanted to kick things off by sharing 10 things I've learned from making $10 million over the last 10 years in business. And I'm going to keep these solo episodes short and sharp. They're going to be stories from my journey. They're going to be tips. They're going to be things that I've done, things that worked for me, things that didn't work for me. Again, in the hope that it helps you shortcut your success. This one I'm going to do over 2 episodes. So part 1 today, I'm going to hit you with 5 things only out of the 10 that I have learned generating $10 million in sales over the last 10 years in business. So number 1, the key, learning to love sales is the key to living beyond your wildest dreams. Now, it sounds so cliche, right? I think we're a little bit like PTSD'd from all of the Instagram memes, all of the Instagram gurus who show up and tell you how you can live your dream life, how you can make $1 billion in 17 seconds, how, passive income exists. All of this stuff, I think, has kind of scarred us a little bit. And also made sales feel a bit shitty, if I'm being honest. And I have to, like, here's full disclosure, right? I am a salesperson by trade. So I actually naturally do like sales, but I totally understand. And after working with so many women in business over the last few years, that not everyone does. And there is this negative association with the word sales. We think about the used car salesman, that is the picture of the salesperson. You even think about your own sales experience. I hate it when I walk into a retail boutique and that person is like following you around the store, like, can I help you? Oh my God, you look fabulous. Or it's like, please leave me alone. I just want to shop. And then, even poor sales experiences from big corporates. I know, I've dealt with many a big corporate software platform over the last decade trying to sell me their CRMs and all business suites and all of this stuff. And sometimes it blows my mind how much they have a prescribed sales process that, as a salesperson, I know I'm going through a process. And even though I'm ready to buy, they're pushing me through this process and not listening to me and what I need and where I'm at in the sales process as a customer. So I totally get it. I totally get that women in business feel a little bit icky about sales. I get that there is a negative connotation when you talk about being a salesperson. But what I've learned over the last decade is that you're solving a problem, right? You went into business because you have a skill set, you're passionate about the niche that you're in, and you're solving a real problem for people. So, not telling people about your product, service, solution is actually doing them a disservice. And if you reframe sales to solving problems, to building relationships, it really does start to unlock the growth in your business. And we are not here to be a charity. You need to pay yourself. You need to pay your team if you have them. You have goals. And I don't care whether your goals are, I want to be able to fund a family holiday, or all the way through to, I want to build generational wealth. Doesn't matter the scale of your goals. Your dreams are your dreams. And sales and making more money is the way to get there. That is how we grow our business, and that is how we can reinvest our money into things that matter to us as business owners. So learning to love sales, it really is the key to unlocking and living the life that you really want for yourself. So get your head around that, ladies. Second lesson I learned after 10 years in business: unapologetically reach out to every ideal customer. It is a numbers game at the end of the day. One thing I've learned is that the more conversations I have with the more people who are my ideal customers, so they're kind of likely to buy, the easier it gets, because I know they have the problem that I solve. I know they're interested in this space. I know they have the means to buy. I know they have the urgency to buy. So all I'm doing then is having conversations. All I'm doing is showing up and going, hey, we solved that problem. And here's how we're different than everyone else. Here's why we're so passionate about what we do. And what I learned is that if I just had more of those conversations, then I would close more sales. So it really became about unapologetically reaching out to as many people as I possibly could to score those conversations, to land that calendar appointment in my diary, to be able to build those relationships. So yeah, really, I guess, again, letting go of anything, any old connotation you have about sales, and just do it. Just hit send. If you have, oh my God, if you have an email in your drafts right now to any of your ideal customers, for the love of God, please hit send. You never regret reaching out to people. You regret not reaching out to people. So please, let's reach out to more people today. Third thing is, sales is not one and done. You actually need to dedicate time for sales every day. So, it's, especially if you do have big goals, especially if you have growth goals, so you actually want to increase your revenue month on month or year on year or whatever it might be, then you don't just sit down and do some sales stuff, reach out to a bunch of people, or, create a content strategy, or, whatever your sales strategy is. You don't just sit down and do that once. You don't execute it once. It's actually something that you need to show up for very, very regularly. Because, well, for a few different reasons, because people, firstly, are at different stages in their buying cycle, right? So you may reach out to some people and they're not ready. They may have the problem that you solve, but they're not ready to buy. You don't want to just reach out to that person, didn't hear back, or heard back, not the right time, and just leave them forever, right? You want to nurture that relationship so that when they are ready to buy, you are top of mind. The other thing is, there is nothing worse than getting to the 30th of the month and realizing that you can't pay your bills. And because people do take a long time to make decisions, especially depending on what industry and what product you have to solve, you can't expect to go, oh my God, it's the 30th and I haven't hit my revenue number. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills next month. I better reach out to 100 people and just see what happens. Because yes, you might get a few hits, but they may not actually close for the weeks or months following. So you actually need to put in a consistent effort in all stages of the sales process. So the cold outreach stage, the nurturing stage, the proposal stage, and the trying to close them stage, and the reigniting passions for current or past customers and trying to resell into them. You need to be doing that every day, so that you never get into this type of situation where you don't have new sales coming in all the time. That's the third one. Okay, number 4, if you're ready to hire, you must have a process and strategy to hand over to a salesperson. So let me tell you how I firsthand made this mistake. So I am a salesperson by trade. Before I started my businesses, I had a decade in corporate sales for Telstra. So I went all the way from retail to their small business team and finished my career in their enterprise and government team. And I've always been a lone wolf. I was never a sales manager. It was just how hard I work is how much I make. That was just, I was in control of my own destiny. So then when I started my business, it was kind of the same, right? The harder I worked, the more money the business made. But it kind of got to the stage, and especially because my first business, Scrunch, which is still around, it's an influencer marketing and social media agency and platform. We were backed by investors. So we raised about 3 million in capital over 5 years to angel groups, high net worths. And when you are a startup that is venture backed, you are on a scale trajectory. People want you to hire a team. It isn't a lifestyle business. It is go, 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 bigger, better, blah, 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 blah. So it came to a point where I couldn't sustain being the only salesperson, but I'd never been a sales manager. So I hired a sales rock star and completely effed it up. I just thought that they would be like me. I just thought that freedom was good. I thought if I just said, this is what we sell and who we sell it to, and let them run free, that they would kind of figure it out on their own. And that was an expensive exercise because they were a high paid employee. And for 3 months, they didn't close any sales. And I was like, what the hell? Like, this person is a really good salesperson. I know in their previous role that they met and exceeded their targets. I know that they've already have experience in this space. They have connections in this space. I was like, what the hell is going wrong? And so what I did is I sat down and I documented step by step everything that I did as a salesperson, which as a salesperson who hates admin, that was excruciating, but I did it. So every step that I would go through, from the cold outreach I would do, the exact email I would send, the exact document I would then send. So if somebody said, yes, interested to know more, if they would say, I want to book a time, great, I had my calendar link. But if they said, I want more information, here's the brochure I would send them. When we're on a call, this is the type of questions that people usually ask. This is the answer that I would give. If they accept a proposal, here is the exact document that we should use. This is how we should send it. This is when we should follow up. So every step in the process, I documented exactly what I would do, exactly what I would write, and exactly what I would say, and exactly the documents that I would use. And I packaged that up into a process. I know you're all listening to me going, yeah, Danielle, this isn't rocket science. This is what you're supposed to do. But this is a learning process that I went through as a first-time business owner. I did that, handed it over, and the bloody person closed a sale the next week. So all I'm telling you is don't hire a salesperson if you don't like sales. That doesn't work. You actually need to go through the whole process yourself and figure out what works and what doesn't work. Then you need to document it thoroughly, and then you need to hire the person. So yeah, that was a very expensive learning curve for me, sharing with you so you don't make it yourself. Okay, number 5, the 5th thing I have learned after making $10 million over the last 10 years in business, and that is, don't be afraid to pivot. Whether that be changing your products and services that you offer, whether it be changing your business model, whether it be raising your prices. You know, I got to a stage in business at one stage where I was like, I hate this. I hate this. I've built a trap. I had 20 employees and I was coming in doing the 9 to 5 every day, and I absolutely hated it. And I realized that I was the boss. I was like, yeah, well, you're the only person in this business who is actually allowed to change it. So let me impart this wisdom on you. You are the boss. It's your business. You get to design it exactly how you want to. So if you have created a business that you have fallen out of love with, take the day off. I could not, oh my God, I could not implore this to you any further. Take a day off, sit in the sunshine, have a strong coffee, brainstorm out what's working, what's not working, what do you like, what do you not like, and change it. Try new things. I'm not saying that you have to completely rip the band-aid off and fire all of your customers and put yourself into a financial position that's not ideal. You can stage this out. But what I am saying is that if you find yourself in a place that's not working, whether that be because you hate it or the market's no longer responding to it, you have the power to change that. So step away, because you can't get anything done by looking at a to-do list that looks like this, for anyone who's watching on YouTube. But you can, if you take some time away, actually think more strategically, CEO time, we call it, and really figure out what the future looks like for you, whether that be new things that you need to experiment with to respond to consumer or market demands, whether it be your life has changed, you're in a new season, you've just started a family, or you've just relocated somewhere, or whatever it is. You have the power to change that, but you need to actually step away and do that brainstorming. So over the years in Scrunch, we have pivoted many times, actually in Spark as well. So from a Scrunch point of view, we we went through many pivots and changes. We started out as a fashion platform. We were building a 3D virtual change room for fashion. We had a social media monitoring type platform at one stage, but it took us go after go after go until the market was right and our team was right, and we launched the influencer marketing platform that has 20 million influencers in it. But even that, when we were building that software platform, it was taking too long and we weren't bringing money into the company. So we started the agency side of the business to essentially do manually what the platform would do. And now, years later, we still actually run both concurrently. And then in Spark, Spark started out as a government grant. It was 2020, and I was like, holy crap, my women in business friends are struggling. How can I provide them community, free access to tools, free access to experts, education? We got a grant from the Queensland government and started that. It started as a 12-month program. It then moved to an 8-week program, and now it is the epic membership community that we all know and love it as today. So time will change. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to make sure that your business is serving your life that you want to live, your financial goals. It is in your hands. Okay, that's it from me today. They're my 5 things. I hope that one or more of them impart some wisdom or empower you to make decisions in your business today. Thank you for listening in. I'm very excited to be here. I'm hoping these solo eps that I get a little bit more comfortable with. It'll still keep our regular programming. We'll still have our 2 interviews every week with another fabulous female founder. But I hope you enjoyed today. I hope to see you inside the Spark community one day. And if nobody else tells you, you've got this.